Hello everyone and welcome back to another Game Jam time. Today I wanted to introduce you to a game engine that I at first wasn't even going to cover and has now quickly become one of my favorite ones to use. And that's called GDevelop. This is an open source and entirely free game engine to use. It's mostly for 2D games, but yeah, like I wasn't even going to originally show this because I played around with it at first and I was like, okay, this is just like Construct 3, and while Construct has a paid element to it, the free one I thought was you could do enough with it that I thought it was worth just going with Construct. Hi! Every time the camera's on, my cat just wants to talk. Or if I did talk about it, I figured I would do it in another kind of, like with the resource project, like do everything all in one and just have it be one of many. But no, this is a really good program, and I think it's worth talking about in detail. So I'm just going to, so you can open it. I already have something open, so I'm just going to go over to new scene. This is from the tutorial, platformer tutorial they have available. And let me just go ahead and it's nothing much to look at, but you can see my character walks around. I can collect some coins. This mushroom is actually a checkpoint, and I can bump my head on this platform. This one I can jump through, and I'm going to get hit by this one. You can see I start back at the checkpoint, and if I jump on him, boom, I jump off him a little bit and kill him. You can see I didn't put in, like, he doesn't turn the other way yet when he moves around, but all the elements, all the building blocks are there, and it was really easy to put together. And if you go to the scenes here, this looks a little overwhelming, but you can actually group things together. You can see I have player movement, and you can just kind of collapse that in so all the player movement can be in there. And if you want, maybe I'll start up a new... Let me close this out, perhaps. Close project. And yeah, at first glance, like the events and everything might look like Construct 3. It looks very similar to the way it's structured, and that's why I wasn't going to talk about it, but let me create a new project. And you can see, if you want to, it has all these kind of pre-designed starters, so you can bring up a platformer or a space shooter, and then you can kind of change them however you need to. You can also go to examples, and it's actually grabbing these from the web, so it'll keep on making more of them. And it's got tags here you can look at. There's a ton of example things to look at. Tutorials. Platform tutorial is the one I went through to get the one you saw there. But for starters, I'm going to go and... I don't want a starter. Create a new project. Oh my goodness, tiny. Okay, here we go. Create a new game from scratch. Empty game. So you get absolutely nothing here. So I'm just going to show you... I didn't mean to add two scenes. Here's the scene. And I'm just going to... add an object. I'm going to add a tile sprite. The tiled sprite will be the ground. Let's select an image. Do I have... this isn't where I want to be. D-Drive game making assets. I think I have some stuff already set. Yeah, the tutorial one, so let's just do the grass half mid. And we'll call it that, that's fine. And this is set up to be tiled, so I think... put it down. Yeah, so you can see, like, I can just whoop, drag it like that. And I can make another platform over here. Another one over here. I forget how high the jumping is by default, so that might be too... We'll see if we can get up there. Alright, so we got a couple platforms. Now let's add in a new object, sprite, and same thing. No, let's call this player just so we know what we're doing here. Add an animation. And we'll just have this guy standing. Put him in here. Now, the cool thing about this, you can go into the events. There's no events here, so let's add a new event. So you've got conditions and you've got actions. I think this is a lot how Construct 3 works, and it's pretty simple. It gives you a list of conditions, specifically the objects or then other conditions, and they're all here, and you can search for them if you want to look. So let's see, what are we in conditions? So if a key is pressed, and then it asks you for the key, you can say the right key, right key. If the key is pressed, the action is move the player, add force, and you can do pixels per second on the x-axis. This is pretty standard stuff. If you press a key, you're changing the x direction. But the neat thing about it is you don't have to do any of that. So let me go back and actually delete this action that I've put down. What instead you can do for very basic things like this, you can do behaviors. So this player has behaviors, add a behavior. He's a platform character. Here's default controls. We don't want him to grab platform edges right now. And so you can see here's gravity, jump speed, falling speed, max speed. So all the X and Y directions you'd want, they're all right here. You can change them all to fit however you want, but default is still pretty good. And then I forget if I need to make a behavior for these. Let me see. Behavior, it's a platform. Ledges can't be grabbed. It's a platform. You can also do a jump through platform, which you saw earlier, and then you can also make ladders, and it'll kind of make them act accordingly. And so just from that, let's go in and test our thing. And there you go. You can move, you can jump, and you've already got all the stuff. You've got gravity, you've got movement, you've got jump, which jump does shift or space is jump, and you've got platforms. It's so simple to get something up and running. I was really impressed. Between behaviors and then the scene elements, which are more, the nuts and bolts of things. If you jump on an enemy, it kills it. If the enemy touches you, kills you. It really made it so easy to go and make something very quickly. So let me just go back into Open Recent. Is this the game I was just had up? Nope, just do the one I had. So this should be... You can see there's not even much different, but I've got a camera that follows me in this one instead of being stationary. An enemy that goes back and forth, coins that make a sound and are collected. Add to my score there. Checkpoint. And then enemy that kills me, or I can jump on him and do a little bounce. And that's everything I have so far. So you can see my player movement here is just jumping and falling, and it's really just animation. It's not the movement. The movement's all behaviors. Collision with coin, deletes the coin, plays the sound, and adds to variable score for each instance of coin. So here is all the stuff, and this is everything I have so far. But just with all this, I could make an entire level with just the stuff I have here. Between having enemies and coins and checkpoints, everything's there to make a level. So I think this is really interesting. And like I said, if you go to the start page, I think I have to close the project first. Right, and then create a new project. And then you've got all these basic things. And I think the platformer it gives you... So it's got pretty much everything I just had in there, except it also has... you can see it has on-screen controls, which you won't see, I think, if I go in here. Yeah. Oh, he jumps way higher in this one. Oh, he's got a little death animation, too. I don't have that incorporated in there. Look at that. He slowly fades out. How nice. Cool. But those on-screen controls, if I was playing this on a tablet or a phone, touchscreen controls, those would show up on the screen and be usable as your controls. So it really kind of gives you a little more... I don't know how to implement that from scratch, so you can go into this and just start tooling around with the basic platformer it gives you. So it's really easy, and all the tutorials it gives you are very quick. I did that platformer tutorial in no time at all and have a platform up and running. I've already got another game that I'm kind of making based on the platform tutorial that is going to be kind of like a single screen kind of Donkey Kong style arcade game. And so I'm really excited about all the things you can do with this. So this is a really simple example of what you can do with this game, but you can do so much. And like I said, it's free, it's open source. There's a lot of documentation. If you go on YouTube, there's a lot of people talking about it and how to do different things with it. It really seems pretty powerful too, which is really great. Another thing to mention real quick is that if you go over to their events scenes here, you can see they put in comments, so it makes it really easy to see what each of these events is doing, which is I really appreciate that, because you could see in mine it was kind of a mess of just like everything was out of order. I was just kind of putting things in as I wanted, and you can kind of grab things and move them around, but I hadn't made any kind of organization except for that one collapsible player animation. But the fact that they have comments in here and show you what everything is doing is really helpful. So that's a quick look at GDevelop. Like I said, I thought it would be something to just kind of do as an aside, but it turned out to be a great platform that I think will be my new favorite one for now, which is pretty exciting. So let me know in the comments, have you tried GDevelop, or have you tried any of the other ones? Have you made anything with it? Put a link in the description if you had, and I'd love to see it. And until next time, everyone, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.